So let's go ahead and look at the anatomy of a shoulder. We'll zoom in on our guy's left shoulder here. We can see that there's 3 bones that make up this shoulder joint. There's your scapula, your clavicle, and your humerus. The first thing that's really important to note is how shallow that ball and socket joint is. There's not a lot of inherent stability in a shoulder joint, which is why we have other structures in place to keep it where it belongs, okay? So we have all of these ligaments and tendons, and I just want to show you the ligaments that help keep the ball in the socket, okay? That connects all of those bones together and allows us the mobility that our shoulder needs while keeping it relatively stable. So I'm going to take those away, and then I want to show you, I'll add in all of the muscles. Okay, this app has 7 layers worth of muscles. So let's zoom out a little bit, and we'll see that there's muscles that connect all of those tissues in our shoulder. Your deltoid, a lot of these you've heard of, and some of them you haven't. But this one right here is your upper trap. That's your middle trap. This is your upper trap. Okay, and your trapezius is this big muscle. It looks like a triangle, and these are the 3 parts of it. And it connects your neck and your middle of your back to your shoulder. We are human beings. We live in 2025, and we have tension through that part of our neck, especially when we sit with rounded shoulders all day. Okay, so if you can imagine that shoulder pulled forward, that stretches and puts unnecessary tension on that part of your neck. So if you sit a lot and you took your hand and you squeeze behind your neck, it will feel tight and probably uncomfortable. And that's because that upper trap is doing work that it's not really designed to do. Let's take that away and let's look a little deeper at the more local muscles of the shoulder. So these 4 right here are your rotator cuff muscles. And your rotator cuff muscles keep your shoulder in its socket. Okay? So, again, not a lot of inherent stability in the bone part of the shoulder. So our body adapted incredibly and gave us these rotator cuff muscles that keep it in its socket. Okay, you might imagine that upper trap sits right on top of those rotator cuff muscles. So let's add it back in. Okay, and you might imagine that if that's tight, it's putting pressure on the rotator cuff muscles, these muscles through here. So that's the bony and the muscular anatomy of a shoulder. I'm going to take away all of that, and we're going to add in your nervous system. Let's spin him. Let's actually look at it from the back because all your nerves start in your spinal cord. Okay, and let's add in some nerves through here. Yeah, I'm happy with this. So we zoom in, and this big bundle of nerves, which is up in the front here, is part of something called your brachial plexus, which is just a fancy way of saying where your nerves congregate and then they kind of dissipate back out again. So you can see they all come from these 3 spots in your neck, and then they congregate right here underneath your collarbone, and then they go out and they innervate your elbow and your hand. So let's remember now, let's remember where your rotator cuff muscles are. Okay? Those interact really closely with that big bundle of nerves. So let's keep adding in some layers. And nerves are like a garden hose, right? If you compress them, the signal that goes out the end lessens, right? You can sever it and then there's no signal. This little muscle right here, your pec minor, if that's tight, which if you sit with rounded shoulders all the time, pushes right on those nerves, and it can cause numbness and tingling down into your hand. So again, we'll add in all of the muscles. There we go. And you can see that they sit right on top of those nerves. So it's a really delicate balance to strike with all of this stuff. And I think it just helps to see and appreciate the anatomy. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here as a resource. Keep moving, keep getting better every day.